Hi everyone, I'm back and today I'm going to be posting another video on skincare. If you haven't yet, you should definitely go check out my last video on this topic. I talk about luxury skincare and whether or not I thought it was worth it. So I will put that link down in the description box below. But that will give you kind of the basis for my thoughts on skincare and why I make the judgments I make. Also, if you haven't yet, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more on skincare and other topics as I see fit. I'll also be making an AM and PM skincare routine video pretty soon, so definitely subscribe if you are interested in catching that. Okay, for today's video, which is going to be part one of a multi-part series, I wanted to explore a little bit of TheOrdinary.com. The Ordinary is a brand that, if you haven't heard of it yet and you watch YouTube videos, I have no idea what videos you're watching because I feel like everyone has been talking about it. It has just, taken YouTube by storm, really. And the founder of Magnesium, which is the umbrella company for The Ordinary and several other brands, really kind of touched on something that has been happening in a lot of the consumer goods space, and that is a trend towards increased transparency and helping consumers make smart choices. It's actually surprising that hasn't happened sooner in the beauty space, so kudos to The Ordinary for taking the bull by its horns and kind of attacking this head on with this brand. I will say though that I do feel like they could be a little bit more transparent even. Their website is not the most easy to navigate, particularly if you are new to skincare, and they sometimes prefer to use scientific terminology when really they could just call a spade a spade. If it's a moisturizer, call it a moisturizer, Anyway, so my intent in making this video today is to help you if you are trying to navigate the website and figure out what to buy or what to pass on based on the actual ingredients that are listed on their products. Again, I want to emphasize that this video is going to be a buying guide, so I'm going to be sharing my rationale and reasoning and research when it comes to these different products. What it is not going to be is a review of the efficacy, particularly when it comes to actual anti-aging benefits. When it comes to testing things for anti-aging, honestly, to have it be a valid test, you really need to be doing it in pretty controlled settings for months at a time. I have not tried any of these products yet for months. In addition to that, I've not tried any of them in isolation from other products, so I really couldn't tell you what's doing what. But I am going to be talking about the scientific research that is available as a way to kind of deduce how the effectiveness will be without actually going into, before and after results, because I just don't have that for you. Also, for me, my concern is anti-aging, and my concern is with more so preservation rather than reversing the signs. So I don't really have a lot of wrinkles that I could show you to be like, look at this before and look at this after. Everything that I talk about today is my opinion based on my own research. So if you have found other studies that contradict or other research that contradict anything that I say here today, I really hope you'll post that in the comments down below, because I would love to kind of read that for myself and explore it, and also, disseminate this information to a wider audience, because I think as consumers, we really owe it to ourselves to do the research and get informed. So again, if you find anything, please share it with me down below. I would be really, really grateful, and I'm sure other viewers here will be as well. Okay, now on to The Ordinary's website. So when you first get to the website, you can see that it's not really your traditional kind of e-commerce shopping experience. There are all of these different brands, or actually you don't even know what they are. There are just all these different names at the top here, and then you have all of these categories along the left-hand side. And so these categories along the left-hand side are actually the different product lines that The Ordinary carries. So for today, again, this is going to be part one. I am going to be focusing on the vitamins and retinoids section of this website. First up, vitamin A. So these first two products, the advanced retinoid 2% and the retinol 1%, are forms of vitamin A. And for our skin, what our skin actually likes the most is a form of vitamin A called retinoic acid, or tretinoin, or Retin A. So these three things I will say interchangeably. So again, that's retinoic acid, Retin A, or tretinoin. And these two products that the ordinary features, the advanced retinoid and the retinol, are derivatives of retinoic acid. First and foremost, anyone who's interested in anti-aging must have some form of vitamin A in their arsenal. As I mentioned, the most powerful of these, the most powerful in terms of what our skin prefers, is the pure retinoic acid. This was originally used in the treatment of acne for decades, and it was through the treatment of acne that doctors started noticing that their patients had really drastic impact in terms of anti-aging over the long term. In fact, it's been shown that Retin A is not only good for photoaging, which is kind of the skin being exposed to the elements, being exposed to UV rays, that is called photoaging, but it's actually also really effective when it comes to chronological aging. So chronological aging is really just our cells getting old. I mean, even if you were born and stayed indoors your whole life, you would still inevitably look old when you're 95 because our cells are not just photoaging, but they're also chronologically aging. But Retin A can help both, so it's really able to kind of get under the hood. So how Retin A works is that our skin cells actually naturally have retinoic acid receptors. So as retinoic acid, vitamin A attaches to these cells, to these receptors, and actually promotes the production of collagen. And it's been shown that the collagen that is produced as a result of vitamin A, of this retinoic acid, is actually stronger than just your normal collagen. So not only does it produce more collagen, it's also producing stronger collagen. It's also shown to help kind of normalize your cell functioning so that it's behaving as a cell should rather than degrading over time, which is what our skin cells tend to do. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a superstar product. Therefore, if you're able to get a prescription Retin A, you should absolutely do that. If you're in the US or Canada, you will need a prescription to get this. In other countries like Mexico, Spain, India, I think, you can actually get this over the counter. But if you are going to be getting this over the counter, I would say for sure talk to your pharmacist, because there are dangers with this product. You should not use it, for example, if you are pregnant or hoping to get pregnant. Also, this product comes in many different kind of degrees or concentrations, and the lowest one that's most commonly available is at the 0.025% potency. And definitely if you're just starting out with Retin A, you should go slow, start low, and work your way up over time. And I mean, honestly, give yourself time, because this product is going to wreak havoc on your skin when you first start using it. But over time is when you start seeing the magical results. All right, so if you're not able to get a prescription Retin A, that's where these derivative products come in, such as the two that are on the Ordinary's website. Now, this first one, the Advanced Retinoid 2%, it has a relatively new derivative of retinoic acid. I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce it. Hydroxy something. I'm not going to try to pronounce the compound's name, but suffice it to say, it's a relatively new derivative. I tried looking up the research for this particular compound to see its efficacy in anti-aging, since it does have some pretty stellar claims. In fact, it claims to be as effective as direct retinoic acid without any of the irritation, which honestly sounds kind of too good to be true. But the research that I was able to find was more specific for acne and the treatment of acne, and it has shown to be pretty effective in that particular use case. I wasn't really able to find anything on its anti-aging benefits or anything that I really trusted on its anti-aging benefits. So for me, this product I am curious about for sure, particularly if it is truly irritation-free, but I would not buy this as a replacement for my prescription Retin A that I use on my face. I will, though, likely try this in a future shopping spree of theordinary.com as something to use for my body. So, for my elbows, my knees, my hands, etc., like these places where I'm not going to use my fancy cream and use something that's more readily available for a lower cost. So I am curious enough that I'm willing to try this in a future purchase. Next on The Ordinary's website is a retinol 1% cream. And retinol is a more conventional form of vitamin A. This is the form that most products that you can purchase over the counter or through the luxury counter, retinol is going to be the product that's in there. It is a derivative of vitamin A, and what I mean by when I say derivative is that it's not in the pure retinoic acid form. And if you recall, our skin has retinoic acid receptors. It doesn't have retinol receptors. So your skin actually has to do an extra step of converting this compound into retinoic acid, and as such, it's not going to be as effective as pure retinoic acid. But it's also something that you can buy over the counter, far less irritating, and it doesn't have warnings when it comes to things like pregnancy or other potential impact on your body. Now, looking at The Ordinary's retinol cream, I see on the ingredients list that it's pretty much a one-trick pony. It's the retinol 1%, with a bunch of silicones. Now, since retinol is readily available over the counter with other drugstore brands like CeraVe, I actually compared The Ordinary's retinol cream to the CeraVe serum, which also similarly has a 1% concentration of retinol. So the Ordinary product is definitely a lot cheaper when looking at the price points, even compared to the drugstore CeraVe serum, which is around $15–16. The Ordinary's retinol cream is only $6.70, so you're talking about about $10 less for a similar quantity of product. But the CeraVe product has a lot more in there, not just silicones like the Ordinary product. The CeraVe product has a lot more beneficial ceramides, and it's not just in a base of silicones. So if you don't really like silicones on your skin, and personally I don't really like silicones for evening skincare routines, which is what retinol should be used for the evening, not for the daytime, I would personally pass on The Ordinary's retinol cream and just spend the extra dollars for something over the counter like the CeraVe serum. One other alternative to prescription Retin A is Different, which is another drugstore product. And this is drugstore as of 2017 January. Prior to this, it was actually only available by prescription from your doctor. So Different is the drug adapalene, and adapalene is another derivative of vitamin A, and traditionally it has been used quite successfully for the treatment of acne. Again, when it comes to kind of its efficacy for anti-aging, there's far less out there on this, but since it has shown such great results for acne, I would be far more willing to try adapalene for my face for anti-aging versus these other retinol derivatives. So in summary, when it comes to vitamin A, my preferred usage for my face is pure retinoic acid, or tretinoin / Retin A, whatever you want to call it, which is prescription only in the US and Canada. Second would be adapalene, which is Different, that you can get over the counter now in the US. Third would be just a more traditional retinol like the Ordinary retinol cream, but in my case I would prefer the other drugstore products such as the CeraVe serum. And then finally would be the advanced retinoid, just again because of how new it is and how much less information there is on it. But I will try this for my body, and I'll keep you guys posted if I start seeing some miraculous results with this when I do get it. Okay, so that wraps up vitamin A. Moving along on The Ordinary's website, we are now in the vitamin B, or vitamin B3 category of things. So niacinamide is a form of vitamin B3. Niacinamide, like retinoic acid, has had quite a number of studies on its efficacy for anti-aging in the last 10–15 years. So a little bit newer for anti-aging compared to Retin A, but it has similarly shown some very, very encouraging results. In particular, it's been proven to be very good for hyperpigmentation because it inhibits the melanin production in our skin, and melanin is what causes the dark spots and color for our skin in general. Other studies have also shown that niacinamide kind of acts similarly to vitamin A by promoting the production of collagen in our skin. I will note that a lot of these studies we're using a 5% concentration of niacinamide, and the Ordinary's product here is a 10% niacinamide plus 1% zinc. So what does this mean if you're talking about a 5% concentration versus a 10% concentration? Well, I will first and foremost say that this is actually a product that I did purchase and have been using from The Ordinary. And for me, I use this as really a niacinamide booster for other serums that I have. So I will, put a different serum on my hand and then, just do a couple of drops of The Ordinary's niacinamide 10% as a way to kind of boost its efficacy and its niacinamide. Even though the concentration of 10% is higher than the studies which typically use a 5% concentration, I think because I am diluting it in other product, it's, on net probably somewhere around 5%, if not less, in terms of how much is actually hitting my skin. This is really similar to the Paula's Choice niacinamide booster product. I believe it's called Paula's Choice Resist Boost, something like that, which sells for over $40 compared to the like $6-ish price tag for The Ordinary's niacinamide product. Now, these products are not identical. For sure, they're not identical. If you look at the ingredients list, you will see that the Paula's Choice product has a lot more in there. In particular, it has this vitamin C derivative that I'll talk about when we hit the vitamin C's on The Ordinary's site. But it has lots of other products in there that include extracts, other compounds like that vitamin C derivative, etc., all of which are designed to increase the efficacy of the niacinamide. All that being said, I personally just don't see the need for it. I feel that I'm getting quite a lot out of the existing serums that I use with this niacinamide booster that's just more pure from The Ordinary. So I don't find myself, wanting or desiring a more compound product like the Paula's Choice one. I will also note that a lot of products that we buy over the counter or from the luxury counter actually already include niacinamide. So a lot of the moisturizers from CeraVe or Olay, they actually all have niacinamide as part of the ingredients list. So you're really just, this kind of niacinamide boost that I'm talking about is really, really maybe not necessary because you're probably already getting it in other skincare products you own. But definitely, if you aren't currently using anything with niacinamide, you should absolutely add this into your regimen. Okay, moving on down the list of products on The Ordinary's website, we are now in the last 4 products here under vitamins and retinoids. And these remaining 4 products are all forms of vitamin C. So, The Ordinary's website is pretty well organized. It has the vitamins, retinoids, which go in vitamin A, B, and then you have all of these 4 types of vitamin C. So vitamin C is ascorbic acid, which I will use interchangeably when I'm talking about vitamin C in this section. Before I talk about the individual products, let me just first kind of talk about the benefits of vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of those much loved antioxidants that skincare junkies love to include in their routines. And first of all, when we say antioxidant for skin, it's really that it's able to protect our collagen by binding first to kind of the harmful pollutants and other molecules that are in the air. In addition to being an antioxidant, vitamin C has been shown to also boost the production of collagen in our cells. But this has been really in a very scientific laboratory setting where you're looking at cells under a petri dish as opposed to creams applied to the human skin topically. So that is kind of a caution. But in a scientific setting for topical kind of applications, vitamin C has been shown to be effective in a 3 to 10% concentration. And in fact, anything over 20% has been shown to be kind of decremental to the benefits in terms of benefits for our skin. Now, this is interesting because most of the vitamin C products that you can get in a liquid form typically come in concentrations higher than 3 to 10%, usually in the 20% range. And I think it's okay because, as I mentioned, in liquid form, it's very unstable. So actually anything that you have is probably going to be much more degraded than whatever is on the label. Now, the interesting thing is this product from The Ordinary, the vitamin C suspension, actually has a powder form of ascorbic acid, which is the most stable form of ascorbic acid. And the powder form is soluble in water. So in The Ordinary's product, it's in a emulsion of non-water, basically. So that's why you feel it in particles, I guess, as a lot of reviewers have said. I am actually very curious about this product. I think it would be great to use, especially if you actually have another water-based product that you can then use with the vitamin C suspension, such that the powder form is dissolved before it's applied to your skin. And that way you get a kind of purer, more heavy hit of the ascorbic acid. So I am curious about it, but I have also heard a lot of people say that it's quite irritating for the skin, so, or it's really uncomfortable to put on the skin even. So that might give me pause, but I think I will actually go ahead and purchase this to try on my next kind of run to theordinary.com. Okay, next up are the remaining 3 products under this section for The Ordinary, and these are all other derivatives of vitamin C. I'm not going to go into each of these. I did look up all of the actives in each of these just to see what the research said out there, and basically what I came away with was that it's kind of a mixed bag. Some studies have shown good results for anti-aging, other studies don't really seem to say anything. Others, I really wasn't even sure what they were testing because the scientific jargon was far too advanced for me. But I will say that this other one called Ascorbyl Glucoside, which if you recall back when I was talking about niacinamide, I mentioned that the Paula's Choice product had a vitamin C derivative that boosted the impact of niacinamide, and that is the Ascorbyl Glucoside. There have been a few studies that show that the combo of the ascorbyl glucoside plus niacinamide actually increases the effectiveness of both, or niacinamide, I don't know which one, you can't really tell exactly which one is doing the work. But, if these two are combined together, supposedly there are some good results to happen. So maybe if you are interested, you could try this form of vitamin C along with your niacinamide booster to create kind of a knockoff Paula's Choice booster as just an option. Also, I want to say that some of you might have heard that you should not mix vitamin C with niacinamide, and that's really only the ascorbic acid form that you should not mix with niacinamide. So in that case, you should use one in the morning and one in the evening, or, however you like to do your skincare. Again, though, for my money, I would skip all these other ones and just go for the vitamin C suspension, which I'm curious about, but I'm not going to be holding my breath for it. I'm guessing it's probably going to still feel way too harsh on my skin, like putting fresh lemon juice on skin. If you've ever felt that, it's quite abrasive. So I'm not holding my breath. I will probably stick with using the liquid forms that I get from Timeless or SkinCeuticals or, whatever, Drunk Elephant if you prefer. Okay, so that wraps up the vitamins and retinoid section of The Ordinary's website. In summary, I will just quickly go through all the products again. For the retinoids, I would get the advanced retinoid 2% as something to try for my body, though I would skip it and prefer other over-the-counter products, or my absolute preference would be prescription products for vitamin A for my face. The Retinol 1% cream I would skip because I think the other products you can get over the counter, like the CeraVe serum, are better for the money. And yes, it's a little bit more money, but I think it's worth it in terms of what's all in there. When it comes to the niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%, I would buy this as a booster to add to other serums and moisturizers or whatever that you use in your skincare routine. I think it's great value, especially compared to the Paula's Choice niacinamide booster. When it comes to all of the vitamin C products, I am curious about the vitamin C suspension because of the efficacy of vitamin C ascorbic acid in powder form, though I'm hesitant because it has had some bad reviews, so we'll see how that goes. As far as the other derivatives, I think I would skip on all of them, but maybe if you are curious, you could get the Ascorbyl Glucoside 12% solution to make your own knockoff Paula's Choice Resist booster when paired with the niacinamide. Okay, that's it. That was a long video, I'm sure. So this is why I have to split it up into multiple parts, because I could be talking here for like days on end, to be honest. I need some water. Okay, that's it from me. So I will see you guys soon in my next video. And again, let me know if you've found anything else in the research out there that would contradict anything I've said here today, so we can all learn from that. And also, if you haven't yet, do hit that subscribe button. Okay guys, I will see you soon. Bye.